Well, continuing on the topic of education, FRC's Meg Kilgannon, FRC Senior Fellow for Educational Studies, joins me to look now at, there was a time when schools were focused on shaping the minds, equipping the minds of young people. Now, it's really trying to corral their emotions. Meg, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me back, Tony. It's great to see you.
All right. Let's talk about these. I mean, there's so much to talk about on education, and you know what? We got a lot of time to talk about it in the coming days, but not a lot today. Let's talk about this focus that has been taking place in public education as it pertains to this social emotional learning.
Right. There was a hearing on Capitol Hill just this morning that focused on this topic, and this is a great example of a set of values and almost a faith system that is allowed in public school when other faiths or any religious faith is not allowed in public school. The kind of emotional supports and character building that these programs are alleged to provide are exactly the sort of values that are inculcated by Christian parents in a Christian home, or really, a lot of religious families have certain values and disciplines associated with family life that make children ready to go to school and learn. And so because of the breakdown of the family and because there are so many children who are going to school but they are not ready to learn, educators wondering what are they supposed to do about that, needing help to corral the kids. And so this collaborative for academic and social emotional learning, CASEL, comes out from, it's a top-down, ideologically driven program that is supposed to address the emotional needs of children so that they can be ready to learn. And I think what they miss so often in cases like this is that when children come from perhaps a chaotic home life, the order that they find at school is a great relief to them, and the academic accomplishments that they can achieve in that ordered environment are a source of great esteem to them personally. Like, this is the value of doing a good job and learning something. That's a way to make children to feel good about themselves. But instead of focusing on academics, they want to focus on making sure that the children are emotionally prepared to learn. And this goes way beyond the expertise of the average classroom teacher.
So this is where a lot of the feelings come in. It's about kids feeling well. And feelings are temporary, they're passing. But academic accomplishment, academic achievement is something that stays with you for life. And so we've, to use the phrase that was popularized a few years back, the snowflakes. I mean, it's all about feelings. Is there a point that we're going to get back to education? I mean, we see our test scores, math, reading, science, all falling behind. Is this registering with educators?
I'll tell you who it's registering with. It's parents, like the woman you just interviewed. We're seeing this in schools, and while we certainly want children to feel good about themselves and to be prepared to learn, we understand that learning is the point of going to school. It's not for therapy, it's to learn. And so the more that parents see this kind of thing in schools, the more strongly they push back against this type of content. And it's really sad that it's necessary, but this is exactly the kind of thing that's driving parents to schools. And she just said they've banned CRT in her school district. That is the kind of step that we like to see to push back on these kinds of things too.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all want kids to feel good, but that's temporary unless it comes from something rooted deeply. And we know that the ideology dominating our public schools today is not going to take them to the source of answering these big questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose? How did I get here? That's for the parents, that's for the church to do. And I'm concerned as we see government move to try to bring in children at earlier and earlier ages, as we've talked about before, it's about shaping that worldview that turns them away from the true answers of life.
It is indeed. Every human heart has a longing, a yearning for God, for that love, for the higher power, for Christ, as we know as Christians. And so the drive to fill that need or to satisfy that need with something less than that, but that is legally acceptable or socially acceptable in the public school setting, that's how you get something like social emotional learning. And so we need to send our children equipped as Christians into that space, knowing that need is served for them.
Yeah, and we need to continue to see parents step up to these school boards, making sure that CRT and we focus on the academics as opposed to the social and the emotional that's been dominating. Meg Kilgannon, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for joining us once again on Washington Watch.
Thank you.